starting the road trip a little bit dicey. Sixers finished with a winning road trip thanks to back-to-back wins, including a big one tonight at Madison Square Garden. We welcome you here to Sixers Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance, Amy Fiddle and Mark Jackson. And listen, none of these guys really enjoy playing under the big, bright lights of the Garden. It is the world's most famous arena. Tyrese Maxey saying it's Maxey's favorite place to play right now, it feels like.
Absolutely, and why shouldn't it be? We talking history right there. A lot of names have become legends in that arena. And Maxey just adding his to the long list up there. You going to Madison Square Garden and you put in that kind of work against a great team. This is not a Knicks team previous to this coaching staff and these players was struggling for many years. But now they've seen it right the ship, but they didn't right it tonight versus the Sixers.
No, they did not, and it was a lot of fun to watch in this one. And we got to check out Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, what they did. It is a box office backcourt, big time on this one. I wonder if John Stewart was in the house, because Tyrese Maxey remembers putting on a performance in front of him. But VJ Edgecombe, the last time these two, they were up there 3 weeks ago, they combined for 53. And they thought, just wasn't quite enough, Mark Jackson. We need just a little bit more. And you can see their night, just the unreal shooting percentages across the board, 26 and 36 for the two of them. And no surprise, the backcourt dynamic duo of VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. That is our Colonial Nissan game changer. Maxey leading all scorers with 36 points, 14 of 22, including 6 threes, 2 blocks, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And honestly, there was a couple of hockey assists I think you could throw in there as well. He was all over the court. You cannot keep him in front of you.
You can't. And first of all, he's too quick, and with that shooting ability, you got to come out and guard him further away, which gives him more lane to drive the ball. He was phenomenal, especially in the second half. He went to a whole nother level, and the Knicks couldn't defend or even dream of containing him.
These two combined to shoot about 62.5%, 63% from the field combined. They both well over 60% when you look at it. VJ Edgecombe 62.5, Maxey was 63.5. So I'm going to say 63% all combined when you look at what they were able to do. And these are almost, I want to call them normal shots for Tyrese Maxey, but these are incredibly difficult shots that he makes. And the efficiency, we had the board in the pregame, the efficiency with the way he is scoring and the difficulty level of the shots is remarkable. You just don't see anything like that.
You don't. You don't. And you know, you add this other guy, what's his name? VJ.
Yep. Out
here, who is so aggressive, straight line drives, hitting open jump shots, and playing exceptionally great defense versus Brunson. I mean, these two guys is incredible.
So you can see VJ Edgecombe, we saw him show out of the Garden the last time when the Sixers won up there. Keep in mind, coming into this game, the Knicks had only lost 3 games at the Garden. One of them, now they've lost 4 games at the Garden, and 2 of them, half of them have come at the hands of the Sixers. I know that the Knicks are the second team in the East, but this is a huge sign going forward because this is a rivalry that is finally back, and it's ridiculous. He comes out of nowhere to block that. You mentioned it. The Knicks were irrelevant for a number of years, and the Sixers obviously coming off a really tough season. But this is the rivalry that you want to see. You want to see it back. It's good for the NBA. And the Sixers are hanging tough in the Garden. And you love to see that. Great defense here.
Look at this. Look how he reaches, gets back in the. And let me tell you something, people. Watching this game, Brunson got away with a lot of stuff. But, you know, we seem to play good defense. And look at this. VJ not letting up. Look, that was a sleeper's play. You think it's over? Not yet. And then look at this. Look at this fake.
This dunk is amazing.
At the fake.
It's amazing.
The fake was phenomenal.
I love it so much. I love that dunk so much. I love everything about this dunk. I love everything about both of them playing together. And it's just so much fun. And the thing is, there was a time not that long ago, like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about, can these guys all fit together? They were 0-4 with everybody playing. Not so much. They've won 3 in a row with everybody out there. And I think that's a huge sign. You heard from Joel Embiid after that Mavericks game. We played that for you earlier. And then you heard him with Kate Scott and Al Abdelaziz saying, this is what we know we're capable of. We know we can play like this. We're figuring it out. And that's dangerous when you look at the rest of the way the East is going to shake out because it's so tightly contested. Sixers string together some more wins like this, they're going to be right there in that top 3, top 4 conversation.
They truly are, Amy. The thing is, they building momentum at the right time. You know, guys are getting in the groove, finding a niche, finding a way, and then you got reinforcements coming soon.
Right.
It just gives you hope that this team has found out what's needed to be done to gel, and they're doing it.
Well, you know, Knicks fans, they don't like seeing Tyrese Maxey drop 46 on the playoff game, drop another 35. Apparently, they're also sick and tired of seeing VJ Edgecombe after just 2. So now we're going to deal with Edgecombe for 10 years. Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's Jason Siegel just looking despondent right there. That's a great gift on that one from Knicks Nation. It's good stuff. I take a lot of joy in things like that because, listen, we all remember how the playoff series went. We know how last year went. Let's enjoy this. You can puff your chest out a little bit on this one. Let's check in with Nick Nurse.
Yeah, he's been much better this year. I think the whole way. I think you'd agree that he's into the ball. He's over screens, getting his share of pick sixes. You know, creating his share of turnover. So he's been really alert on that end of the floor. I think all season just keeps getting a little better.
You talked before about the staggering difference between Paul, Joel, Tyrese, and VJ. If you had that lineup early in the second quarter without Tyrese or Joel, that gave you a really good burst. If you can get good minutes from lineups without either of those two guys, do you think it benefits them that they could play together more often and they could lean more on the two-man game that they have?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important because they got to play a lot more in the second half. That was a long stretch in the second, and our last game, if you remember, we subbed Paul back in instead of going to Jared. So tonight we went to Jared and let him have a little bit longer run. That gives those guys the certainly rest. They're, you know, that's up there probably minutes-wise for both of those guys, and it was a little tricky in the fourth. I was, you know, got Joel out for a stint there, which was, again, we held serve there while he was out. Didn't get a chance to get Paul out. Would have liked to probably. I don't really like playing him the last 12. I think those guys can start, need to come out, and then maybe go the last 5. But to answer your question, yes.
Maybe to build off of that, we talked about continuing to figure stuff out, continuing to experiment. Just what do you feel like maybe not figured out completely today, but like what steps or progression do you feel like you overall?
Well, I think that you know, I think it turns out really fortunate that we had 2 of them out, right, and we went on a nice run. But you know, we've played a lot without, you know, one of them or both of them, so we do have a, you know, a little better feel. Gives us a chance to open up the floor sometimes a little more for Tyrese and VJ, which we, you know, did early in the season. That I don't know, it's still working on it. Right, it looks a little different every game. Yeah, sorry.
With the connection with Tyrese and Joel, obviously they get a lot, but
Yeah.
Tyrese taking snap, Joel's more of a new version of it. So
Yeah.
how does he get together? What do you see?
Well, they got a lot going on there, right, with their 2-man game. They got several directions, and I think there's a little bit more to explore there, and most of that is probably heading towards the rim. Right, a few more rolls for Joel when he keeps getting the conditioning and feeling better, and a few more back cuts for Tyrese, which will just open up some of the outside stuff a little bit more too. So, I mean, they'll go back and forth. It makes it nice because they can't really get us a certain direction because they'll play both ways. Even if you try to like send it down, they'll snap back and be able to come back the other way and things like that. So it's a lot going on there. Yeah. No, I can't. He's been awesome. I think the composure I think that he has. He just is so steady out there. I mean, he plays like a 10-year vet with his composure, and just kind of keeps making plays. You know, does a little bit of everything, which is great.
How rare is that?
I think it's pretty rare. I think that, you know, people would ask about Wemby, his rookie season, and that's one thing he just keeps playing. I think Cooper Flagg does the same. You know, it's pretty rare, but I think some of these guys are that good, and you know, really believe in what they're going to do, and know it's a lot of minutes, a lot of games, long season, all that stuff, and they just kind of keep playing. Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing is we're getting some, you know, a little bit of continuity, a little bit more rhythm, a little bit more shape, right? I think that is the key that we run. I think 3 games in a row we have the same lineup. You got to check your notes. That might be a record for us in the last 18 months. literally the same guys came out there 3 games in a row. I really don't remember that happening for a long time. So that's good. We'll take that away, and hopefully we can get to number 4 on Monday. Huh? Well, he hadn't dunked one all year, so I know you saw he wanted to get one. It was a pretty cheap way of getting it, I think, but at least we know he can still dunk, and he's got that check that off his list. Yeah. Yeah.
How much of this do you think you can build forward momentum-wise with a bunch of all the games you got coming up?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that is the only thing that's missing, in this first stretch of games is just some consistency and having the same guys out on the floor. And I think you can see some things growing. There was probably about 40-plus minutes of us making the absolute right decision on offense. There's a few stretches there where it got a little crazy, but usually it's a lot more than that. So that's always going to be good, and that having the same guys out there consistently has been a big issue this year as well, right? And now hopefully we can smooth that out a little bit and build, and you get to put wrinkles in, you get to put counters in, you get to add defensive schemes, all that kind of stuff if you can keep the same guys out there.
When you have Tyrese and Joel, and so much offensively sort of revolves around them and their 2-man game, other guys have to get around that. I guess just with VJ in particular, what do you think he's learned about how he can take advantage of the attention that those 2 guys draw and utilize that for his own scoring capabilities?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we still want him and Paul for the most part to be to be big parts of the offense because they can score, and a couple, some other guys too. But I think there's going to be spot up threes for him, which he's stepping into and taking. There's going to be space for him to, charge down the lane with the ball, which he's doing. I mean, I want to get him playing a little bit more on the open floor. I think when we throw it ahead to him, there's some more attacking moves, and he's just really good at that. I just would like to see it 8 times a game instead of 4, things like that. So just keep looking at that stuff.
Last question. Is it at all satisfying or rewarding to with it? Finally get this continuity now see good results.
Yeah, I mean, we got a long way to go, you guys. I told you to start the season we were in a big hole we had to dig out of, and we're still digging. I think there's still, a lot of still conditioning, rhythm, health to get a little better, and I think we just build on that. Yep. Thanks. All right, everybody.
I was talking about the conditioning there at the end. It's something that they have been building on, because that's one thing that we saw, and we mentioned it, the big 3, and I'm going to include probably the big 4 with VJ Edgecombe in there. They hadn't played well, particularly together. VJ Edgecombe had been deferring a little bit, but now you've seen 3 games of them, and they're all playing exceptionally well. VJ's finding his shots, while you still see Joel Embiid finding his shots, and the assist numbers are way up across the board. Why is that?
Because I think guys are buying into, we have a loaded team, play unselfishly, but you got to play hard to maintain the reps. And I truly believe that these guys are starting to gel because they see the bigger picture. You look at Paul George, only 15 points, but 8 rebounds, 6 assists. It's letting you know that this team is starting to figure out their place on the team.
Yeah, a couple of 3 threes for Paul George, which he's always known for in his defensive effort as well. So it was a complete effort, top to bottom, for this Sixers squad. It was a lot of fun to watch. That's right. For the second time in 2026. It's 2 games in, baby. We're already clapping our hands, all right? You got to wear maroon. You got to clap your hands. We're going to talk about Joel Embiid tonight. They only needed 33 minutes from the big fella, and he got 26. We'll talk about that coming up here on Sixers Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance.